Welcome to Board Gems. My name is Daryl Boone. Today I'm going to be reading to you the story of Robber-Kun and the Six-Iro God Sempais. Uploaded to fanfiction.net in 2013 by the user notwimpcatan. Chapter 1. The Beginning. The robber woke up from the dream he was having. He looked into the mirror next to his bed. I am looking good, he thought. He was about an inch tall with an ashy gray complexion and wooden skin. Unlike all the other pieces in his high school, he didn't have right angles. They all made fun of him, but he knew he had a special density. I need to get to school, said the robber, and he hopped on the boat to go to Board Game Peace School. But little did he know that there was a big storm coming in that day that would change his life forever. Chapter 2. His life is changed forever. He was on the boat when the storm hit the boat. Oh no, he said, as the boat began to tip. We are going to drown. But little did he know he had a special density awaiting him. So while all the dice and metal pieces sank and drowned, he drifted on the waters. What will I do? He said, as the tide carried him towards an island. Oh look, an island! I will swim there. So he swam there. He was the fastest swimmer in his class, but he did not brag about it. When he got to the island, all he saw was sand. Gee, this is a lot of sand, he sighed contemptuously. All of a sudden, a brown rectangular prism came out of nowhere and tackled him to the ground. I didn't see you there, said the brown rectangular prism. She was the first brown rectangular prism the robber had ever seen. She had her grain in straight lines roughly parallel to the orientation of her dimensions, and a square profile when viewed from the front. Her coat of paint was fresh, and she was not even dented on her corners. You are very pretty, complimented the robber. Thank you, thanked the brown rectangular prism. What is your name? My name is Brown Road. My name is Robber, stated Robber. I am lost. I was just washed ashore to this island. Well, I am afraid I do not know anything about that, but I know someone who might. Oh, you do? Yes, I do, explained Brown Road. Let's go to the desert and talk to the desert sage. She will tell us everything. So they went to the desert, where it was hot and sandy, and they walked a long time. Can't we walk faster? Whined the robber. No, we can't, said Brown Road, because there are no roads. You're a road. But I haven't been played. Haven't you ever learned anything? No, I do not know about this. Please explain. Okay, so how it works is when a piece is born, they are kept to the side of the board and cannot go onto it. The board? Well, as you know, the board is this island. Okay, so how are you on the island? I'm not supposed to be. If I'm caught, they will throw me into the Jenga set. That sounds terrible. Please continue. Well, the game hasn't really started yet, so no one's really enforcing it. But now that you're here, I fear it will begin soon. What game? It is the ultimate game, where the 6 kingdoms war with each other and try to expand. Okay, I understand everything. Stop talking, said the robber. Brown Road stopped talking, and they continued through the desert. Eventually they got to a shack that was dusty, and they went inside. There was an old woman sitting on the ground, and she looked up and exclaimed, "It is the Chosen One! He has arrived on Catan!" "The Chosen One?" said the robber. I do not know about this chosen one business." "It is very important," said the desert sage. "Now the reckoning is upon us. You will have to travel to all the red numbers in the land and steal an ancient artifact from each in order to bring balance between the 6 gods." "Okay, so I need to get the artifacts," nodded the robber. "So explain everything else so that I am not needlessly confused for the rest of the story." But all of a sudden there was a huge thud, like the sound of 2 giant cuboid plot points falling from the heavens and bouncing on a table. "It's a 7, said a voice from above, and the robber felt himself lifted up into the air. "Oh no, put me down," he cried. But the hand did not. "I will save you," screamed Brown Road, but suddenly a hand grabbed her as well. "I actually don't want my road there," said another voice. And the other voices, there were 6 voices, grumbled and eventually said okay, and they put Brown Road somewhere else where the robber couldn't see her. Meanwhile, he was being carried over the island, off to a god-forsaken sheep pasture on the far edge of the board next to another desert. "Look, no one is there," one of the gods said, and they put him down. He looked around, but there was no one there, not even a sheep. On the ground was a giant disc with the number 2 on it. "Oh, look, it is just like the desert sage explained. It is a mystical artifact that I will have to collect something similar to," he exposited to himself. But the disc was black, not red, so he ignored it. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the island, there was a young knight lying face down atop a stack of her dead comrades. All of a sudden she felt herself lifted up and set somewhere else. She looked around and she was off the pile of her dead comrades and now off the board even. Her name was Night. She was very brave. She stared long and hard at her surroundings. "The green god has clearly chosen me," she said, looking at the green tribespeople gathered nearby. "Maybe soon I will fulfill my density and meet the chosen one." A whole round passed when suddenly Night found herself being lifted up again, and she was all of a sudden on the island, on a sheep pasture. There was a handsome gray cylindrical piece nearby with a roughly round head and some sort of collar, and a base that stood up pretty well. He was the only gray piece she had ever seen. "Hello, gray piece," she said, looking at him. He looked back. "Hello, who are you?" he inquired. "I am Night. I was sent here to fulfill my density, which is to find the robber and bring glory to the green god." "Well, I am the robber," informed the robber, and Night was very happy. She smiled with her mouth. "Oh, great, let's go," she smiled. "But wait, where is my friend Road? I do not know about Brown Road, but maybe if we travel together we will meet her." "Okay," sighed the robber, and they set off. Chapter 2. Setting off on an adventure. They ended up at another sheep pasture, but this time the number was red instead of black. "This is it," evinced the robber. "Is what?" "It is the holy artifact." "Okay, but the sheep belong to the blue gods, so you can't take them." But Night did not know that the robber was special, and could take cards even from the gods. And so he took the sheep artifact and gave it to the knight to hold. "I think you are supposed to have it," said the robber. "Okay, I will send it to my god, though." "That is fine. I think that is how this is supposed to work." Chapter 3. The last chapter. This went on for a while. It was a very long time as Night kept helping the robber collect all the artifacts, and eventually they got them all. They also met up with Brown Road again, but she was wedged between a white and a red road and could not go anywhere. "I am sad," she said. But she is not in this chapter, and will remain sad until we see her again. Anyways, they got all the red number artifacts, and brought them to the green god. But then the Robert found himself in the desert again. "You have done badly," forewarned the desert sage. "One god isn't supposed to have all the artifacts. They're supposed to be distributed evenly. Now you have misweighted the farces of karmic destiny, and there will be a great catastrophe." "Oh no!" shrieked the robber, because he realized what he had done. Because all the artifacts were in the possession of the green god, he had become too powerful, and all the other gods had embargoed his lying ass. "If you do not stop him, he will complete the Holy Trinity and win the game," howled the desert sage. "You and your companions must ensure another god wins, for the sake of universal balance." But none of the other gods had more than 8 points. "This could be very bad," said the robber, as he contemplated his next action. Then night appeared to him. "I am ashamed that I partook in this calamity," said the knight. "I have reformed, though, and I am fighting for Brown now." "That is good, but Brown only has 8 points," the robber expounded vehemently. "We are too late to stop the green god." But that's when Night tore off her helmet and armor. Underneath, she was wearing a suit and a monocle. "I didn't want to tell anyone, but I am actually Monopoly," she whispered defiantly. "It is my power and my curse." "Monopoly! I have heard rumors about the famous Monpopoly," chorused the robber jubilantly. "With our powers combined, we might have a chance." "Join powers with me," said Night, actually Monopoppy, "and we will defeat Green God once and for all." They joined hands and started sparkling. Robber transformed into a magical wand, and the suit sprouted wings and grills, and they spun around a lot. When all the frills were finished sprouting, Monogamy took the wand that was also the robber and pointed it at the green god. "Your reign of terror is over, green god," she exhaled brilliantly. "Give me all of your wood." "Oh no," rumbled the green god, who had hella wood up in his hand like the lumber market was going out of business. His fingers turned into stone and started to crumble, and the cards fell, and Monpopoly grabbed them with the wand / the robber and delivered them safely into the brown god's hand. "My service here is through," said Monopropane, and her transformation sequence ended. The robber turned back into the robber and landed on the green god's 8 of wheat. "But the brown god still doesn't have enough pints," he trilled. The brown god looked at her hand. It was mostly wood, and there was a brick there too. So she built a road, because there was little else she could do. "Aha, looks like I will win next round," exhorted the green god, who in between rounds had completed the Holy Trinity and now held a chapel in his grubby fists. "I will have 10 points and win." "Not so fast," chortled a voice from the middle of godforsaken nowhere. It was Brown Road. "With me, the brown god has 9 consecutive roads now, and that makes hers the longest." The green god roared a roar, like a tire deflating after getting pumped full of shotgun pellets, and then died. Everyone cheered, because the brown god had acquired 10 victory points and won. "You did good," said the desert sage. "Yes, very good job, everyone," said the Blue City, who appeared earlier off-screen. "I am so glad to have friends like you," blushed the knight, as she and the robber and Brown Road celebrated their victory. "I'm just glad I came to Catan," said the robber. The end.